Pump up the volume on your parenting with Parent Pump Radio. Tune into something different that makes a difference. At Parent Pump Radio, instead of a ripple, we choose to create a splash. Get energized, get inspired, and get informed with how to parent in the new millennium. With your host and parent coach super guide, Jacqueline T.D. Wynn.
This is Jacqueline T.D. Wynn. Welcome to Parent Pump Radio. Our show is all about dynamic family leadership, financial freedom, and leaving a profound legacy for our children. Parents working 8 to 6 and scared of a market crash, wondering how you'll fund retirement and college fees. Want to earn stable, cash-flowing, appreciating income? Well, we teach parents how to create a safe, personalized real estate portfolio. Generate $10,000 plus a month, one house at a time, and involve the children in creating wealth. You can invest alone, of course, but when the family's involved, you empower your kids to become financially literate and able to manage their own lives. And when you have a family business, you and your kids always have something to talk about. Wealth building brings families together, kids, parents, and teens. We will find, acquire, renovate, and manage the properties for you. You build knowledge and wealth as little as 2 hours a month. So schedule your Is Real Estate Right for Me educational call today. Go to my website at integrativeminds.com, and there you'll also find a way to order all my 3 books. Our show is available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitchers, YouTube, and syndicated on rethinkradio.org, oneideaway.com, and Armed Radio. So on to our expert guest for the day. He helps consumers clean up and fix their credit profiles to improve their credit scores. He's been in the credit restoration since 1990. He grew his credit restoration company from 2 employees to over 550 employees before he sold the company in 2012. He had an annual revenue of $65 million. And after selling his credit restoration company, he joined a no advance fee debt settlement company called New Era Debt Solutions. They never charge upfront fees, and they only get paid if and when they can complete your debt settlement process. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Robert Childs. Hi, Robert.
Jacqueline, hi. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a great morning in Southern California.
I know you can't beat the weather.
So let's talk about debt settlement. I want to know exactly what it is.
People interpret it as what they probably see on TV a lot, at 2 o'clock in the morning when they're stressing out over their debts, debt consolidation. We do debt settlement. To tell you the difference between the two, debt consolidation means that you're not, in most cases, not going to get a principal reduction in what you owe on the balance. They eliminate the fatal mistake, interest, penalties, and fees. So if you owe $100,000, as an example, $20,000 might be past due interest, penalties, and fees, and that debt consolidation company will eliminate that. You're going to pay back the principal of $80,000. Debt settlement is completely opposite. First off, in order for any debt settlement company, or any creditor really, but any debt settlement company to help, including ours, has to be a 100% in collections. Or they use the word charged off on credit cards. So if your credit report says collections or charged off, then you're pretty much good to go. So why we exist is to get a balance reduction on that principal balance. Not only we will eliminate the interest, penalties, and fees, but also get a major reduction in the principal balance. Our goal is to try to get the client at least a 50 cents on the dollar or better savings. So in other words, if you owe 10 grand, we're not going to get them $6,000 or $7,000 settlement with the creditor. We're going to get them pretty much $4,999 or less settlement that they're going to pay back to those creditors. So that's a difference. Where debt consolidation can take 2, 3 years, 4 years to pay back. Debt settlement, it's a matter of months. And the client in debt settlement with our program can pay it in a one lump sum, or they can pay it back in payments as well on that reduced amount.
What's the percentage? What you said, like 40% to the dollar?
We average between, I'm going to say 15 cents to 40 cents on the dollar and everything in between. It might be 49 cents, but it's never ever going to be higher than 50 cents on the dollar. We've never actually had one of those, but it averages everywhere in between, because every credit is going to be different, between 15 to 40 cents on the dollar, our average.
Okay. But you have to have the money to pay it off because they want it right away.
Not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, when we get referrals from mortgage lenders, someone's trying to buy a home and the underwriter says of that mortgage company, sorry, John, you're declined because of the debt to income problems. You owe 10 grand, $20,000, and you need to show zero as soon as possible. Then a one payment close would be needed in order to get approved for that mortgage. You're trying to buy a home as fast as possible. But if someone says, no, I'm not trying to buy a home not for a couple of years, I already own a home, so I'm just going to refi when I can. Let's say, for example, we get your debt down from $10,000 to $4,000. Then we can break it up in payments up to 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
So no interest, penalties, and fees, principal reduction, but they could break it up. So for that example, they could do 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, et cetera. That's a range between the creditor and the consumer, what they can afford based on that. So we could break up in payments, but again, if someone's trying to buy a home or need a business loan to start a business, a one payment payoff would be advisable, because for example, if they settle for $4,000, the $4,000 making payments over the next 2 years is not going to show a zero balance right away. Like a pair of stairs, it'll go down after 24 months. It will show a zero balance. But if the underwriter says, hey, it has to show zero right now because your DTI ratio, then they have no choice to do a one payment settlement close on a reduced amount.
If I do a debt settlement, does it hurt my credit score then and history?
Well, keep in mind, in our world, it already has to be in collections and charged off status. So the damage is already done. You can't make worse. So, in our area, either it's going to stay the same or make the credit score a lot better.
Got it.
No guarantees of credit score improvements, but it probably will happen because you're carrying all that dead weight. And when you chop off that negative dead weight, what happens? You get lighter, like losing weight. You're going to feel better, and the score is going to feel better, and ultimately it should go up.
So basically, this is when you stop making those minimum payments, and the creditors are already calling you, trying to get the credit card company is trying to get you your money, and then this is when you would go to you, to settle.
Yeah. So in most cases, the minimum qualification, first off, it has to be unsecured. We cannot settle government student loans. We can do private student loans. Government cannot do private student loans, taxes, federal and state taxes, and child support payments. That's a no-no. That requires a law firm. And we only require a $750 or more collection debt in order for us to help them. Also, they have not made a payment on that collection debt in 7 or more months. So if someone owes $5,000, it's in charge-off status, and the collection agent owns it. The debt buyer, they bought it from Wells Fargo, for example, they made a payment 2 months ago. Well, you have to wait 4 more months. So the data loss activity has to be 7+ months.
Wow. Okay.
In order for the creditor to talk to us.
So it does need to be in collection or debt settlement, you were saying.
Yeah.
How long does it take for you to do this process?
30 to 60 days to come up with an agreement. When we do reach an agreement with the creditor, we don't touch the client's money. It all goes by law. It's all done through a third-party escrow company that we're aligned with for many, many years. And the client will have a 24/7 online view of where that money's coming and going, for example, with the escrow company. And so once we know a settlement's been reached, we get a pre-settlement letter from the collection agency or a creditor that says, okay, we got it from 10 to 4,000, for example. And in a minute, I'll explain how we get paid our fee in a moment. But ultimately, if the client's trying to do a one payment close, then let's see, they put that 4,000 into escrow immediately. And 1 week or 2 weeks later, with the client's written permission, DocuSign, the money goes out to the creditor, and we'll get a final settlement letter after that. It takes between roughly 30 to 60 days to reach a settlement, regardless of the client's paying it back in 24 months or less, or one payment. It's a fast turnaround.
You say you have to wait at least 7 months. But then what about people who are getting letters that they're being sued by the creditor, or, they have to go to court? Is that something you can help them with?
Yes and no. That's really far down the road. Obviously, the reason someone got sued because they ignored the intent to sue process initially. You got served legal. The creditor hired a law firm and says, Jacqueline, you didn't pay this bill. And you receive a letter saying you have 30 days to respond, especially here in California. It varies state to state. But if you don't respond to that intent to sue legal papers, then it goes back to the judge and says, Judge, Jacqueline ignored it, so now we need to file an actual court date. So in short, yes, we can help them. in that case, they'll be negotiating with the law firm, which is a little tougher to do, but not impossible. But as long as their wages haven't been garnished or their assets got a lien on it, like a house or a bank account. So if the law firm successfully garnished their wages, that's really down the road, garnished their wages or attached a piece of asset, they're not going to talk to us. It's too late at that point. Only way to get rid of that is to file bankruptcy, which of course is the very, very last option.
Okay.
So if they got their wages garnished or assets were put a lien on, there's nothing we can do.
Now, you said you need to respond to that order. What do you say in the response? Because obviously you owe the money, you just couldn't pay it back.
Well, if it's in the early stages of it and you just got the papers that says intent to sue, there's no court dates set up on the first set of legal papers, respond in 30 days saying, stick it where the sun don't shine, I'll pay you, I'll see you in court, or just say, if
something.
you have a lawyer, let the lawyer do it for you. But certainly you have to acknowledge it. Say I'll see you in court. I'll arrange payments or something like that. Just respond. That's the important thing.
Okay. What have you found from your clients when it comes to their credits? Because you say you can't guarantee for it to improve, but I'm sure you've seen it improve. What's the time frame it takes? What's the score amount?
If they do a one payment payoff because they're trying to buy a home, as an example, if we settle, your debt from $10,000 to $4,000, and the client pays the $4,000 immediately, in that example, we get a final settlement letter from the creditor of the bad guys. We can send it to their underwriter to do a rapid rescore, and in 3 days to a week, they can see the score possibly jump as much as 100 points, maybe more.
Really?
So yeah, it depends on the debt. It depends on the debt. I mean, if you have a $5,000 medical bill versus a $5,000 charge-off credit card collection, you're going to get more points on the type of debt, credit card collection debt versus medical bill. But if they do a rapid rescore, yeah, they should see a pretty positive improvement in the FICO score. If they don't use any type of rapid rescore, 30 to 60 days after that, roughly, they'll see their score jump, most likely.
What do you see the difference in all of the debt? There's medical write-off, there's credit card. What else is there? And what's the difference in scores and everything?
Well, I can't give you an exact number, but we are 90% of what we do, of course, are credit card debts.
Yes.
Even business debts we can do. You may not show in your personal credit report. If it's in collections, we do business debt settlement all the time. Same parameters. Medical bills, utility bills, Verizon, AT&T, Comcast cable, things like that, Spectrum cable that are considered utility. So those are the three most common. But we can't do it if it's secured. Another thing we can do are car loans. If the car was given back or repossessed, sold at auction, and it becomes a non-secured, unpaid balance. So 020, cars repoed, they sold it for 10. That $10,000 becomes an unsecured debt. We can help them. On a car loan, even personal. Private student loans. They go into collections as well. But we can't do government loans, but we can certainly do private loans that go into collections.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said 90% of your cases are credit card. I don't know, give us some tidbits, hints, and ways of what we can do. Say someone has a $100,000 credit card debt, just an average. Let's say they spread out 5 cards, make it average, and they can't pay off all of it. What should they do?
Well, again, in order for us to help them, it has to be 100% in charged off status. It has to say charged off on the credit report. But if they owe 5 credit cards at $20,000 a piece, they haven't paid on it in 7 or more months. Date of last activity 7+ months ago, and they have a willpower. They can breathe on a mirror, and they have a willpower to want to do it, settle it. Yeah, we can help them. Remember, we don't have to work on all 5 credit cards. We can do one at a time based on the budget.
Okay.
Some of the parameters and no-nos to do is if the date of last activity, it's called DLA on the credit report, is over 4 years ago, the creditor can't send you a collection letter or even a phone call without being a harassing phone call anyway. That would be considered an FDCPA violation, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act violation. Not a lawyer, but I know a lot about that. They incorrectly report on your credit report as a different amount. That's an FCRA violation, Fair Credit Reporting Act violation. So at some point, we have FDCPA, FCRA attorneys that we work with that can sue the creditor or credit bureaus for violation of, and that there's no cost to the consumer. The bad guys pay the fee. But that's a webinar for another time. But ultimately, if they call you, never admit that you owe the debt. Don't say, how much do I owe, or how much did you say that I used? Refer yourself in a third party. How much did you say is owed? How much did you say was charged on this account? Because you're being recorded for quality assurance when you talk to these guys. And they can use it against you in a court of law in the future date if they take legal action against that person. So they call you, you say, send me something in writing. That's it. Send me something in writing, and I'll go from there. That's all I can say. So I tell people, don't ignore the calls. I mean, unless it's beyond 4 years, and hey, this debt happened 7-8 years ago. That's different. But if it went into collections 1, 2, 3 years ago, answer the call. Don't be afraid.
So after 4 years, it's like pretty much written off. You don't have to pay it off, and they can't call you.
Well, it'll be on your credit report up to 7 years from that date of last activity, but the federal statute of limitations is 4 years.
It's 4 years
from the date of last activity, not or charge off date, whatever is earlier.
What do you consider activity?
Meaning, if you have an account, let's say, is 3 years and 11 months old, it's approaching 4 years, and they call you, say, "Hey, pay the debt, Jacqueline." You know what? You send in a check for $200 on a $10,000 balance. You just re-aged it. So the whole 4 year starts all over again down to zero. So
but you can talk to them though, right? Like if you answer the phone and you're like, no, but you just can't have any actual like payoff.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
And I don't care if you're talking to them. Remember, don't refer yourself as I, or how much did I do, or I do this. Third party.
How likely though is it in 4 years that they won't call you into court?
The chances are probably less than 20% into the middle of the third year, beginning of the third year. Is approaching the 4 year mark.
Is that based on like how much? Is that based on how much you owe them? Like if you owe them more, they're more likely to take you to court, right? Okay.
Yeah, like Amex, $20,000 or more, or something like that. Yeah, they want to try to keep that sucker alive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How much money do you think someone would need to settle a bad debt?
Well, in our world, we try to keep the payments to a minimum $300 to any creditor. And like I said, if someone had 5 accounts at $20,000 a piece in collection debt, we can work on 1 or 2 at a time, or the whole 5 at a time. So once we arrange a payment payback with a creditor, the client will know that way ahead of time before we accept the settlement. Say, client, you have to pay back $500 on this one, $250 on this one per month. Does that fit within your budget? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. And we'll get that pre-settlement letter, which your client will sign. Send it back to the bad guys, and that's when that part will start. And our third-party escrow company will debit the client. Let's see, it's payments for 24 months, for example. Will debit their account, checking or savings account, that amount of money on the payment for the next.
Now let's talk about business debt. You mentioned that earlier. You also do that. If it's business debt, then it doesn't really affect the personal score, right?
Most cases, I've seen it where they exercise the personal guarantee, and we have a guy came in from a large mortgage company, a $57,000 American Express debt, which is a business debt, and it showed up on his credit report. But so it can happen. I don't say it won't happen, but it can happen seldomly, but it does happen, and obviously it dropped his FICO score. So we're going to argue the fact that we'll try our best to do what they call a pay for deletion. Doesn't happen all the time. You say, here's a payment, Mr. Creditor, but before I give it to you, can we give me a deletion letter? Sometimes they don't have to, but in this case, we argue that it's a business debt, and any good credit repair company, that it's a business, not personal. And by just saying to the credit bureaus, it's a business debt, they should take it right off the report.
With business debt, is it a credit card that you're dealing with, and you'll just stop paying it?
Yeah. I mean, it could be a business term loan. It could be a business car loan. The car, same thing. Car got repoed, and now it's just an unsecured debt. As long as it's unsecured, and again, unsecured credit card, it could be a business utility. It could be a business cell phone bill.
Got it. Okay, same thing.
Or car loan, as long as it's unsecured, and again, they haven't made payment on it 6, 7 or more months.
So the only difference really is that most likely the business debt is not going to affect your personal credit card, but it's dealt the same way.
Yes. Yeah. And it can show up. In this case, it did show up. Yeah,
Okay.
American Express has a tendency that show up on the business debt shows up on people's personal credit reports for
Okay.
business American Express and another credit card.
Now, if you had a business debt, if it's not going to affect your personal score, I would think just let it ride. Why do I need to hire someone to settle? Because eventually it's going to run out the 4 years anyways.
Well, I'll say in 3 words: sign personal guarantee. They'll exercise that guarantee unless even if the business files bankruptcy and the owner or owners sign that personal guarantee, they're going to try to come after you personally, which means possible lien on. If you owe a couple $100,000, which is common with business debt, they can eventually put a lien on your house if there's equity.
It's only if you sign the personal guarantee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law firm.
Right.
But I've seen it happen where, a business lawyer would know better. But knowing that even if in most cases, the business files bankruptcy and Chapter 7 goes away, they could still come after you personally if they decide to exercise that personal guarantee.
What would be the benefit of debt elimination and debt consolidation?
Mm-hmm. Well, consolidation, again, over many years, you're not getting a principal balance on reduction on the principal balance. In debt settlement, what we do, that's why we exist, is to get a reduction. We can't get a reduction when client doesn't pay us. That's
okay. Simple. Obviously, with the debt consolidation, you wouldn't have this period, like you said, 7 months where your credit score is down and you're getting bombarded with calls. So that's the benefit of consolidation. But then you have to pay the full principal off.
Yep.
Okay.
99% of the time. Yeah. But debt settlement, always going to get a balance reduction plus the elimination of interest, penalties, and fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can someone get a hold of you?
So they can call me or send me an email. My phone number is, I'll say it twice, 949 area code 371-8885. Again, it's 949-371-8885. Or they can send me an email to robert@newerads.com. So Robert at NEWERA, D as in dog, S as in Sam.com. And of course, they can visit our website. I recommend that they Google my company name, New Era Debt Solutions. It's got a great online history, a great online reputation. And it's New Era Debt Solutions with an S on the end.com.
Now, you also deal with another company that they can get financial services too. Can we talk just briefly about that in case they want some of that?
Mm-hmm. So, we're connected with, all types of, folks. But, if I get a referral from a mortgage company, I'm not going to send it to another mortgage company. That's called burning bridges. But ultimately, in your show, obviously, these people are freestanding. They're their own referral. So these folks need help with, nonprofit education for their kids, like you talked about in the intro, or understanding how to start a business, or they want to understand is credit repair a good option for me after that selling? I got a lot of resources. I got a lot of referrals I can send to local too, and I got a lot of connections across the country.
So this is the financial literacy part that we talked about. Understanding it, knowing it, and then teaching your kids and getting your kids involved in it. Okay.
Yeah, I got a great Los Angeles-based national nonprofit that does financial literacy. I won't say it now, but if someone calls me, I can tell them about that offline.
Okay, perfect. Robert, besides you helping people with this debt consolidation, this is just a small part that you do. We're talking about financial literacy for the family. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what else you can do in the big picture to help the family.
Definitely. We aligned ourselves with a phenomenal financial services company that not only allows people to make money doing it, referring people to it, but help themselves with financial literacy, legal services if needed, all the way down to actually enrolling in a service, identity theft, legal services, tax bot, things like that they have. And there's about another dozen services that they can join to help their family. Everything from saving money to growing their wealth, and it really fits like a glove. That's why we aligned ourselves with this company a while back. So for more information, guys, about that, please just give me a call directly, 949-371-8885. I can tell you more about it.
Yeah. So this is not just about just consolidating your debt. This is really about moving forward with your family and learning, getting more educated on a plethora of financial services. And that's what Robert can help you with. Just give him a call and see how he can help you. If not now, for your family in the future. Again, his number is 949-371-8885. And you can also go to his website. It's New Era Debt Solutions with an S.com. The information is in the show notes. If you have any questions, please call him 949-371-8885. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Robert. I appreciate it. And you have a favorite quote to share with us.
Oh, I do have a favorite quote. Stay out of debt.
And if you have a problem with that, call Robert. He'll help you stay out of debt. Until next time, always be learning and always be growing. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much for joining us today. Go to parentpumpradio.com and click on the pink box on the top of our homepage to listen to our new and archived shows. To be instantly notified of new episodes, subscribe to our RSS feed. The RSS feed button is located at the top of the page where all our shows are featured. And after listening to the show, go to parentpumpradio.com or our Facebook page to leave your comments, questions, and topic suggestions. Until next time, have a wonderful week.